Well, good morning, everyone. Guess what? So, I will be doing a live stream pretty soon. It's in all likelihood going to be this Saturday. It'll be a conversation with DM Blackwall, who I had a conversation with that started with miniature painting. We ended on J.R.R. Tolkien, but in between, a lot of stuff got discussed that I really thought his rather encyclopedic knowledge needed to be shared. So we are going to be doing that on the Tribe of the Greyhorn Pagans podcast. And for once, I will be hosting instead of appearing as a guest. DM Blackwall will be my guest, and we will be discussing normal. I don't have my words today. We'll be discussing the Justinian plague and pandemics in general. And we're hoping to shed a little bit of light, a little bit of perspective onto today. So, I don't have a lot prepared, I'm just going to tell you that right now. And the reason I really don't have a lot prepared is because I just told him, hey, make a few notes of what you really, really want to hit, and we'll just kind of take it from there. It'll just be two guys, yakking about disease and how quickly it can spread and, stuff like that. Because I found it interesting, and I hope you will too. So, Saturday night. It'll be, I'm shooting for about 7 or 8 p.m. Eastern. And we will be, I'm going to try for Odyssey, and if the live streaming up there doesn't quite work out, we will be doing it on YouTube. The replay will be available on Odyssey, YouTube, and wherever else Stein has set up a little video platform. And in all likelihood, we will be absolutely releasing that onto Spotify and Anchor FM as well. I know I laid those cards down in reverse. Don't worry about it. It's all going to turn out, though. Yesterday was a pretty exciting little reading. Had a lot of victory going on in that one. So let's see if that continues. So start with you, Yggdrasil. Yggdrasil connects quite a bit. Connects all the 9 worlds, and it's the very tree from which Odin himself hung himself from as a sacrifice to himself in order to gain the runes. And he was hanging there swinging in the wind for about 9 nights before finally he saw them down the Well of Weird. When the Well of Weird pops up. But with this one, it's you. You belong. You're part of something much bigger than yourself. And here's the thing, your destiny, it's both fated and shaped by your will. If you can see something coming, you can change your direction if you really want. But it's up to you. You belong there, no matter where it is. That's what you're in. That's where you're supposed to be at the moment. Sometimes where you think you want to be, or where you think you need to be, is not where you need to be. Sometimes you're just needed right there in that moment. And then, it's not really his day yet, but Thor has decided to show up. So if you're experiencing a little difficulty there, Thor is there to break you out and to get you moving. Here's the thing. Trees, they grow slowly. But they are constantly moving whether we perceive it or not. It doesn't matter how slowly or how quickly you move, the thing is just keep moving. Something else comes to mind. I used to live in the South. I know, don't let the accent fool you. I'm not from around this area. And trucks had these lift kits on them and these big, colossal, what we call buckshot mutter tires. Big, knobby tires. And you'd hear all kinds of stuff about four-wheel drive, and oh, four-wheel drive is good for nothing other than getting yourself stuck. And so after a good rain, you'd see these guys load up those trucks and they'd go out and they'd just tear into the mud with those tires, spinning those wheels, throwing mud everywhere. And when they came back into town, let me tell you, they were covered. Those trucks were absolutely covered in mud. And they're taking them to the car wash to wash it all off. Something about those, when they do get stuck, they have to kind of they're already in a rut and they have to kind of rock it out in order to push forward or push back and then try to really, punch it forward. Most times that works. Sometimes that truck is stuck for a good long time before they figure out how to get it out of there. So, the point is, just keep moving. If you have to kind of rock back and forth a little bit, that's fine. But just remember, your methods will get you out of it. Kind of weird to be going from a series of victories into a rut, really, but yeah, that can happen. The thing about trees, though, trees, they only move up and they branch out. They don't move like we do. They're rooted in place. Having roots does not mean you should be stuck there. You should be able to branch out and move. You can do that, but you cannot have roots and wings at the same time. So just something to keep in mind. Let's overturn these the runes and see what we got going on. There's a lot about movement in here today. Starting with Laguz. You're going to have to trust your gut just a little bit. We talked about having control over your thoughts yesterday, but today it's a little more about intuition, because without it, you're going to second guess yourself quite a bit. Also, having control over your emotions is a good idea too. Remember, this is a lake. We love lakes. Lakes are great. It's good to put your boat out on a lake and go fishing. You just don't want those waters to be choppy. You really want a nice, relaxing day on the boat, casting your line and reeling them in, right? And we just talked about movement. And that's what this symbolizes, is movement. The action to take today is do not stop moving for one bit. And closing it out on Fehu, which is wealth and abundance and all that good stuff. Of course, we have talked about Fehu before. Now, the thing is, wealth and abundance does not necessarily mean prosperity. It can, though. It's about having an abundance of energy. The question is, what kind of energy do you need an abundance of to keep moving? Well, if it's money, money is nothing more than energy. And the more of it you have, the more things you can do. The less of it you have, the more restricted you are, the more creative you'll have to become. And that's really the takeaway, is how do you move? How do you move when you're restricted on your energy? If you don't have much gas, you're not going to be driving very far. If you don't have much money, you're not going to be doing very much. You're going to have to get a little creative. That means taking control over those waters of your emotions, taking control of your intuition. That's what's going to get you unstuck today. And that's very valuable advice to me. So I know that this video was short. I intended to keep it that way. Mainly because I just don't want a very long time between upload and getting these links out to you. We've had a lot of that go on lately, and I wanted to kind of take a break from that today. So anyway, I hope that these runes today gave you guidance. And now that I'm looking at it, I'm seeing one other thing. We got Lagus, we got Awaz, we got Fehu there. And just taking the sounds from them, la, a, there's a couple words that can be kind of taken from that. And one of the phrases I kind of like was, "I'm a leaf on the wind, watch me soar." A leaf on the wind fallen from the tree is going to glide down its path till it reaches its rest. Kind of symbolic of life. You're going to have to live a little. Trust your gut. It's going to keep you moving. And whatever you do, don't stop. It's the key to everything, every bit of success that you want. Don't question yourself too much. You know what to do. Just keep doing it. Alright? Love you all. Take care of yourselves and each other. Always do what lights you up, and as always, shine on.